Going on, Bills Mafia? Welcome to the Buffalo Rumblings halftime show. I'm your host, Thomas DeLaus. I'm here to kind of keep you company for the next 20, 25 minutes as we kind of guide ourselves into the second half. Obviously, we saw that was not the most enjoyable of first halves of football that we have seen thus far this season. Unfortunately for the Bills, this weather just seemingly is having its hands around the Bills' neck. But that last drive was something to definitely be proud of. I would say that Josh really stepped it up. The team really stepped it up. Get some big plays from McKenzie, big plays from Dawson Knox. And ironically enough, the first note I wrote in that first half was, "Is McKenzie a letdown?" Because I'll be honest with you, going into this season, a big part of what the season was that McKenzie was going to step it up big time, right? That was the big thing we kept saying. McKenzie was going to step it up big time. He did a little bit, but he had some major drops, some really disappointing drops, in fact. So we'll see if that continues. But as of right now, it's been something that's concerning to say the least. But then you got Dawson Knox, right? I'm hoping. Here's my hope is that if we can get a little bit more out of Spencer Brown, and that's something I wrote here, is that Spencer Brown has had some serious regressions. We've seen that Spencer Brown just hasn't been as good this year as we've seen in past, and it's really paying a serious toll on Josh. I mean, you're seeing that Josh is just not playing the same way that he has been playing when he's had both Deion Dawkins and Spencer Brown at their best. Josh is at his best. That hasn't been the case today. But if we can get a little bit better out of Spencer Brown, that's when Dawson Knox can actually step up and be an option, which you saw today. So we shall see. We'll see if that continues to be something of point for the Bills. I'll tell you one thing, and I want to talk about this real quick. I'm starting to get a little bit more and more interested in the idea that I wish we had built or that we had done a dome for this new stadium coming up. Because, man, I'll tell you, I know for the longest time for a lot of people stated, well, this is Buffalo weather. This is football weather. This is shitty weather. Let's be real. This isn't fun. For the people that are there, I'm sorry. This weather is awful. It's cold. It's gross. It's not fun. And then on top of it, there's no advantage. Sal Mariana said it himself. Um, this type of weather levels the playing field for bad teams. This takes a really good Bills offense that when the weather is right, Josh can be playing on all, firing on all cylinders and brings them down to a team that isn't that good, but can stay at least in the game when the weather's shit. Right? That's what we're seeing right now. It's an unfortunate situation. This weather is just not fun. It's not enjoyable. It's really crappy to be honest with you. And on top of it, you're seeing it's playing a huge role in how this team. I mean, you've seen alone multiple miscues. You've seen people slipping. You've seen Diggs slip. One of the first plays of the game, Stephon Diggs. It was a pass from Josh to Stephon Diggs. If it was right on cue, and whether it was slipping out of Josh's hands or the weather, caused Diggs to not get to where he needed to be, that was a touchdown. There was a safety there, and that was it. Diggs just had to get past the safety, and you're talking it was probably a 70+ yard touchdown. I just don't think it's that much of a benefit to us anymore. I know for the longest time it was like we're a blue collar city. We could still be a blue collar city and play in a dome. You could still be a blue collar team and play in a dome. You don't have to play in the elements. This isn't 1970. We play on turf, which is going to change, but in general, you're seeing that this weather is just not fun. It's not conducive for football. You've got an air raid offense in Josh Allen that can play literally with any team. But when the weather's like this, it stifles them. You saw it last year, and you're seeing it again, rear its ugly head this year. I'll tell you a couple things that need to get fixed in that first half. The penalties were brutal in that first half. And I'm going to bring up the stats right now, actually. So team stats right now, penalties for the first half. The Jets were 5 for 31, penalties 3 for 20. And I know 3 for 20 doesn't seem like a lot, but the problem was those 3 penalties were in massive moments for the Bills. Massive. That's the biggest issue right now is that you're not just dealing with penalties, it's a one-off type of situation. The penalties that we had were in massive situations that put Josh in a bind. You saw Josh and the Bills were on, I think, the 7-yard line because of multiple penalties. It's tough. It's a tough situation that you just can't keep running into. Now in total, right now you got the Bills with 117 total yards to the Jets 95. The Bills have had 64 yards rushing and 53 yards passing. It's complimentary, but I don't think it's by design. And then for the Jets, it's 29 yards rushing, 66 yards passing. Seems if you take out their passing game, you might take out their team. Bam Knight's good, but Bam Knight is not a game breaker. I know the Jets want him to be. I don't think he's there just yet. He might be eventually. I don't think he's there yet. In totality, Bills have had 6 total first downs, 2 for 8 on third down. Haven't gone for a fourth down yet, though I think Josh has wanted to, though they had that beautiful. I'll tell you what a scripted play, having Dawson Knox run under center real quick to get him up to jump off sides. CJ Mosley went and, springboarded over the top of the offensive line. Really nice stuff. And then if you look, there's a couple other main points. The one thing I'm going to say, I think you need to keep running Josh. Just like Tony Romo was saying, they're playing that wide 9. It's leaving huge lanes in the middle. Run that ball. Run that ball all day long. If you can get Josh out there, I mean, this is the type of game where you're going to need to run. And to be honest with you, if you do that, you're going to open up the passing game. If you can get Josh to run a lot, the passing game's going to open up too. Defense looks good, right? Chris, defense looks stud right now. Stud. You saw on that one drive, Greg Rousseau had a hand in 3 straight plays. The third one was just, he got his body in front of Mike White, made Mike White's pass really difficult. But previous, it was a sack and a deflected pass. That's huge. That's what you need right now. With Von Miller going down, you need every person on that defense to step up, and they need to step up big. Royal, I'm not going to decline on that one. It's unfortunate that we've put a lot of resources into the offensive line, and it's not panning out right now. I think the tough part truly is that just honestly the tackles. Dion's been injured and Spencer Brown's just not been good. I don't think Ryan Bates has been terrible. I mean, the problem is you're playing against Quinnen Williams. Quinnen Williams is one of, if not the best defensive tackles in the NFL right now. The guy is playing just unbelievable football. And prayers up to him. Hopefully it's whatever injury that they said it was a calf. It looked like a knee. I don't really know. Hopefully, excuse me. Hopefully, whatever that is, whatever injury he is succumbed to at this point, hopefully he's able to get back on the field. Maybe not today, but in the near future, and wishing him the best in that. But right now, we're looking at it. It's a close game. It's 7-0. One thing I will mention, guys, right now is we do have the post-game call-in show. The post-game show will follow immediately after the Bills game. That will be hosted by me, yours truly. And that is a call-in show. The link that you see in the comments. That's the link to actually click on where you can actually join the show. I want to hear from you. I want to hear what you think about today's game and pop right in. We'll talk about everything, and we'll lead right into what will eventually be the Overreaction post-game show hosted by the voice, Joe Miller. That'll be later this evening. But this show, the post-game show, will start around 4:30 p.m., give or take, depending on what time the actual game finishes up. But I'll tell you, there's some nice things to be seen about this game and some definitely things to be desired. The offense sputtered out of the gate again. The first 5 weeks, they were scoring literally on the first drive. And the past probably 7, it's just the first couple drives, it's just been really frustrating. You would have thought after 3 games in 11 days, having 10 days off to get ready for this matchup, that they would have been ready, right? Doesn't seem that was in fact the case. They definitely were a little rusty coming out of the gate. And generally speaking, your best offense is the one right out of the gate because that's the scripted section. That's where they script maybe 17 to 20 plays right out of the gate. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know if Ken Dorsey just needs to get some stuff figured out. If the protection for the offensive line is causing some issues, if Josh's arm is still bothering him, and so that's tough for him. One thing I will say, and I think it's interesting, and I agree, Tom, the weather is killing this offense for sure. The one thing that's concerning is Gabe Davis. It seems a lot of passes to Gabe Davis are always off. I don't know if it's Gabe Davis is running the wrong route or Josh Allen thinks that Gabe Davis is supposed to be in a specific spot that he's just not in. A lot of miscommunication there, but they just haven't been in sync much this year. In fact, I believe, if I'm correct, I don't think Gabe Davis has a catch this yet today. No, he doesn't. He has one target. John Brown, Gabe Davis, Khalil Shakir all have one target, no catches. Dawson Knox, 4 for 41, excuse me, with a touchdown. Four targets there. Isaiah McKenzie, four targets, three catches, 21 yards. And then Stephon Diggs, three targets, one catch, 4 yards. That's a big one. That's the one that you really need to get him involved there. Josh Allen, 5 for 36 rushing. Devin Singletary, 3 for 13. Isaiah, 1 for 7. James Cook, 2 for 5. And that one little run from Nyheim Hines, 1 for 3. Got to get this offense rolling, guys. Got to get this offense rolling. This team is sputtering right now in the beginning of the game. My hope is that the defense can continue their path right out of that second half, continue what they've been doing, stifling the Jets offense and being able to dictate the game. But we are heading into the second half right now, guys. That was a quick halftime. I'm going to run all the way until I see that special teams get onto that field. But again, like I said, guys, join me immediately following today's game for the Buffalo Rumblings postgame call-in show. That is sponsored by Picasso's Pizza. Picasso's Pizza. Treat yourself to the most flavorful pizza in Buffalo. We are Buffalo Pizza. Picasso's. You can get them all over Buffalo, as well as you can order them online. Picasso'sPizza.net. You know what's really sick is I don't even have that script in front of me. I don't know how I actually remembered that entire thing. I've only done it one other time. Wild. Needless to say, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys stopping in for the halftime show. Richard Rush, what's up, brother? Guys, stop in for the post-game show. We would love to hear from you. I want to hear a lot of calls today. Richard, your voice better be good because I want to hear from you, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Buffalo Rumblings halftime show hosted by myself, Thomas DeLaus. You can find me at the Thomas DeLaus. Go Bills.